Hello designers, welcome to another tutorial. So in this we'll be learning how to draft this conical corset. Okay, so I've shared a little bit of the drafting process on my Instagram page, and many of us want the full tutorial before the sewing, so that's why I'm making this full tutorial video for this. Then before we go ahead to sew this, okay, so just go ahead to get your basic bodice ready. So that's what we're going to use to draft this pattern. If you don't know how to draft the basic bodice, check the comment section for the video, the link to the video of this basic bodice pattern that I have here. So we're going to be ruling the underbust line. So you're going to need space, okay? So you're going to know why you need space beside your basic bodice, which I'll be showing us why you need it as we move on in this tutorial. So get your pattern ready. Make sure you have enough space at the side. So I split my pattern into two. I added excess to the side so that I'll be able to do the conical corset as we are working on it. So let's work on the front pattern here. So this is the front here. So I'll first mark my underbust line. So on your basic bodice, we don't have the underbust line there, so I need to mark the underbust line now. So after marking the underbust, I'm just going to connect it. Then I'll do my underbust tightening. Okay, so when you're making a corset, you do your underbust tightening and overbust tightening, which we're going to be doing here. So my underbust tightening is something that I've been doing a lot in my short videos, but I made a detailed tutorial on the underbust tightening already, because explaining it in each tutorial is not going to be that easy. So if you've gotten the basic knowledge of doing underbust tightening already, is going to really help you. So that's why I made that video, and it's available here on YouTube. So check the comment section also for the link to that video. So that video is going to help you to do your underbust tightening correctly, like I did here. So the next thing after you've done your underbust tightening is to do your overbust tightening. So at the hem of your dart, on your dart line here, you can open the dart there and tighten it too, but I didn't do that. But right now I'm marking the midpoints on my neck point and the shoulder point, the midpoint there, and connect it to the bust point. So I'm going to go above the chest line by 1 inch in order to do the overbust tightening. So when you're making a corset, overbust tightening is important, though depending on the design, but you're doing the overbust tightening here. So I mark 1 inch up there, then rule a straight line. If you look at the neckline of that corset, it is straight like this. So after marking it here, you're going to do 0.75 tightening on both sides of the line like this. And you see, so I'm just going to mark it 0.75 on both sides. Then I'll connect it to the bust point like this. Can you see I'm connecting it? So make sure you gently watch the video, this one, as you're watching it. After you're done watching it, then try to practice the pattern drafting a few times before you even decide to sew. So that's why we're sharing the pattern drafting video first. So I'm just going to try to blend it at this or on this side here like this. Can you see how I'm blending it? So just blend it towards the side this way. So the next thing we're going to do now is to plot another dart towards the side front. So you can plot another dart towards the center front, but I just prefer to do it on the side front. There'll still be more tutorial on this channel, and we might just do the center front in another tutorial. But right now we want to do plot another dart at the side front. So I'm just going to rule a straight line starting from the underbust straight down to the blouse length. So that's what I'm going to do right now. So the dart that we want to plot now is for the waist snatching, okay, so as to snatch the waist from the underbust to the waistline, also to the blouse length. So I'm just going to go ahead to just connect this together. So on the waistline, I'm going to go in by 0.5 on both sides of my pattern, okay. Then on the underbust line, I'm going to mark 0.25 on both sides there. So that means I did more snatching on the waistline compared to the underbust. Then you connect it to your blouse length. So you can open it straight down in order to tighten the blouse length around that area there. So I'm supposed to connect this straight up, but I want to close my bust dart before I do that. Do you understand? I will close my bust dart before I will do that. Then at the side there, I'm going to be adding the conical corset. So this shape of this corset is what makes it a conical corset. So the concept of a conical corset is to give the illusion of exaggerated hip. Do you understand? Illusion of exaggeration. So I added 4 inches to the side, then connect it from the waistline to the blouse length there. Then from the blouse length, I go down by 3 inches. You know, the shape of this corset that I use as my inspiration. So it has this like a box design at the waistline. So that's why I go down by 4 inches there, and 3 inches. You can do up to 4. That's why I go down by 3 inches there, then connect it like that. Can you see? So the shape that you have at the side is what makes it a conical corset. That extra that you added, I added 4 here, so it's very exaggerated. You can add like 2. You can do like 2, like minimum of 2, and the max is, let's say, 4 or 5, depending on how you want it. There's some that are very exaggerated, but minimum of 2 is okay, and 4 2 is going to be really wide. So the illusion of bigger hips is what brings about the conical corset shape. Do you understand? So using that method is going to give you like the shape of bigger hips there. So I'll just go ahead to tape down to cut my pattern. Can you see that I'm even cutting it already? So I'm closing the bust dart here. So after you close the bust dart, there's going to be a little shift. So don't worry, just reconnect it like so. Once you close your bust dart, there will be shifts there. I'm going to reconnect it. So look at my darts here. So I'm going to go up there and divide whatever I have there by 2. Can you see? Whatever you have there, you divide it by 2. Then you just mark a straight line from the line that you mark for your darts, the previous that we have on this side here. Then connect it to the top like that. Can you see? So we are done with the plotting of that dart on that side, and it's perfect like that. So the next thing for me is just to shape this area a little bit so that it won't be sharp. Okay, that point won't be sharp. You don't need it to be sharp, so try to blend it in. So I'll go ahead to cut my pattern. Try to do your pattern reblending if there is need for that. Then I will just cut everything. Okay, and I will just set it. So I will label it. So make sure you label. Labeling is important. I will label these two. So F1, F2, and F3. That's my labeling for the front. So after I'm done with this front, then we're going to go to the back. So here is the back that we're going to do now. So at the back here, I'm going to be plotting another dart towards the side back. Okay, so towards the side back, that's where I will be plotting another dart. But before that, I'm going to be plotting the gap at the center back. So this gap at the center back is for the space in between your corset that will help you to be able to snatch your waist, at the back. So this is not compulsory. It's not a must you do this, but I just mark gap. So you can just input the value that you want. I use, I think, 2 inches, 1.5 and 1.5 at the center back here. So right here, I'm going to be marking the new darts. Okay, so I'll rule a straight line here, then I'll do 0.25. so instead of doing the same value that I did on the waistline at the back, I did 0.25. so that means I reduce the waist snatching at the back, so that at the end of the day all of my waist snatching will be 3 inches. You know, at the back here I did 0.25 on both sides here, so that's ½ inch. So ½ inch in 2 places, that will be 1. Then at the front I did ½ inch on one side, so on both sides will be that's 2, and that will be 3 for the waist snatching that I did. So at the side here I'll just mark 4 inches for the conical corset shape here. Can you see? So I'll connect it that way. So at the top of the darts here that I did not mention, but I can see that we'll see how I'm just marking it. So at the down part here, I just showed us that if you want, you can increase the length of your corset blouse, but I did not do that. I'm just showing us that if you want to increase it, you can do that, but I did not increase it. I'm going to be cutting it straight on the length that I have there before. So, but I just shows that if you want to increase the length, you can do it. So this is the pattern set. This is pattern for the back. Do you understand? So just extend your dart leg like this. Can you see? And I will just go ahead to cut my pattern. Okay, so cut my pattern this way. So make sure you label the back too. you label your pattern. Why? Before you even cut it, label it before you cut it. So I made a mistake here. I wrote F1, F2, and F3 instead of B1. This is the back, so this is supposed to be B1, B2, and B3. So I'm going to change it. So this is my pattern set, and I'll go ahead to bring out, I want to bring out the shape of the conical corset on the another pattern paper. So that pattern paper is what I'll use to cut out the facing or the interfacing that I want to use. So you need to add extra something to this conical shape so that it's able to stand. It won't be able to stand if you leave it on its own. So we're going to be cutting the peplum stay for it. So to cut out the peplum stay for the conical shape there, I'm going to get another pattern paper like this. So I've cut this out on the fabric first. So I've cut it out on the fabric first, and I've ironed yesterday on my fabric. Please make sure you iron yesterday on your fabric so that it's going to support your fabric. So before we start sewing, I will now bring out the shape of the conical corset on another pattern paper. So remove your pattern this way, place another pattern paper under it. You can just use your tracing wheel to trace it out, or you can just use your scissors to just cut it out. Can you see? I just cut it out like that. Then I wrote the front. So this is the front that I've done here. Then I'll go ahead to get another the pattern paper for the back. Then do the same thing. So I've cut out, this is the shape for the back. So I'll just go ahead to cut this on my the peplum stay. So I'll go and get peplum stay. So this is a peplum stay. So I will cut out the back first, then I'll go ahead to cut the front. So I'll add the seam allowance. So towards the side of your the peplum stay, make sure you add your necessary seam allowance that you added on your fabric. Add it to your peplum too, so that it's going to get towards to that area. But if you do not want it to get to the seam allowance area, you can just go ahead to not add seam allowance to it. You can decide not to add seam allowance to it too. It's totally fine. So can you see I'm cutting out the fabric the peplum stay for these two. So this is the peplum stay. I'm adding seam allowance, then I'll just go ahead to cut it. It's very, very simple. Just follow the process that I've showed us. Place your pattern, that's the side front or the side back, on another pattern paper and trace out the shape of your conical corset, and you use that pattern to cut your peplum stay. So that peplum stay, you're going to iron it on your fashion fabric. I did not iron it on the lining, rather, not the fashion fabric. You're going to iron it on the lining. I'm going to be ironing the peplum stay on the lining, not on my fashion fabric. So here is the conical after I sew it. So I'm not sharing the sewing tutorial in this video. I'm going to be sharing it in the next video, which is going to be uploaded right after this. So with the detachable cape too that I have on here, I'll be showing that in another tutorial too. So if you want to see the sewing process, please subscribe to this channel and also share this video. I'll be dropping this sewing tutorial right after this. Okay, can you see, look at my conical corset, really firm on my body. So thank you, see you in the sewing class.